Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to share the results from a campaign we ran for a chimney cleaning and repair contractor in Los Angeles. These guys also did electric fireplaces and gas fireplaces, so we'll cover those as well. I'm going to show you the results we got. We'll go over the ad groups and the campaign structure. We'll go over the keywords, ad copy. We'll talk about the location targeting, which is interesting. We'll go over the ad schedule, and then we'll even get into the device bids on this. So we're going to go deep. As we go through this, I'm going to share everything that worked inside of this account, but more importantly, we're going to cover a few things that didn't work so well so you can avoid those when you run a campaign like this one. And then finally, we're going to take a look at the actual landing page that generated these leads, which is interesting too. When I got into Google Ads a number of years ago, I know I was pretty obsessed with studying landing pages. That is going to be where the bulk of your results are going to come from. So hopefully this is helpful for you. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll actually show you how you can grab a copy of this landing page and you can just use it yourself without having to recreate the whole thing. Okay, before we dive into the actual results here, I just want to point out the fact that this campaign is actually paused. Long story short, we produced a pretty solid result for this client. They were very vocal about how happy they were with the results. They even referred us out to a bunch of people. So on the whole, a pretty positive experience. But towards the end of the engagement, you'll see here the timeline from September to February. They were not paying their ad spend on time and their account was constantly getting paused. And then they finally just stopped paying us. I reached out to them, called them, emailed them, couldn't get a hold of them. So I don't know what happened to this guy. I don't know if he's in the hospital. I don't know if he's dead. I don't know if he's in prison. If you run ads for clients, you can probably relate to this. Business owners do weird stuff. So that's my little rant on that topic. So first, let's take a look at the actual campaign results. We were spending $250 a day on this guy, and I'll actually pull up the different conversions here. We'll talk about those in a second. So we had 319 conversions over that time period. Conversion rate was almost 15%. Cost per conversion was $62.48. Total spend was a little under $20,000. And the majority of the conversions came from the number pool, the go high level number pool. And then coming up behind that was the call extension. And then behind that was the lead form. So this is definitely a very call heavy campaign. Let's go take a look at the actual ad group structure here, because this is interesting. And we'll sort this guy by number of conversions, descending, and you can see that the top performing ad group just by volume was gas fireplace. They pulled in a ton of leads for this. And it's interesting because the landing page wasn't exactly dialed in for gas fireplaces. It was more chimney focused, but it seemed to work as well. And then behind that, we had chimney cleaning, fireplace cleaning, and then electric fireplace. And down at the bottom here, this is one of the things that didn't work in this account that does work in other ones, and it was location-based ad groups. So we had Los Angeles, Orange County, and Laguna Beach, and the algorithm just didn't want to spend on these ad groups, so they didn't get much love. And you can see here that the cost per conversion on the one ad group that did get some conversions is a little bit higher. Click-through rate is a little bit lower. Conversion rate is kind of right in the middle. And then we've got the other two for Orange County and Laguna Beach. They got next to no impressions overall. So only like 150 there and 20 there, which is essentially nothing at all. So this is one thing I do encourage you to try when you run campaigns for local lead gen is try out some location-based ad groups. Just know that they don't always work, but like I said, it's something worth trying. Next, let's take a quick look at some of the keywords for the top performing ad groups. So we'll open up gas fireplace and we'll sort this guy by number of conversions, descending. And you can see here that the one that picked up the most traction was a broad match keyword. Been using a lot more of these lately. This was actually pulled in the last month or two, and campaigns love these. Once you've got enough conversion data in the account, these can really be like pouring gasoline on a fire. They work extremely well. The caveat there is that you do need to have a dialed in campaign. You need to have a very robust negative keyword list, because if you don't, you're going to pull in a bunch of junk traffic and it's just not a great idea. So only use broad match when the campaign's mature and optimized most of the way there at the very least. Next, we'll go take a look at some of the ad copy, and we'll take a look at the headlines that worked best inside of this campaign. To do this, you go to the ad inside of the ad group and you come down to view asset details below the ad, pop that guy open, and you'll see we have some warnings here. That's just because the landing page is technically down, so it can't connect. What I like to do inside of these breakdowns is sort by impressions and then sort by conversions, and you're going to see they correlate pretty strongly. Google's not going to give impressions to a headline that is not working, so this is a pretty good indicator as to what it likes and doesn't like, and then what customers like and don't like. So our top performing headline was the $69 gas fireplace service. These guys had a really strong offer, and this is a big component to making this campaign work. So I would encourage you to potentially potentially add an offer like this to your campaigns. And then going down, it was some more generic keywords. And then we had some dynamic keyword insertions and then dynamic location insertions as well. But nothing really surprising in here, pretty standard. As long as you have good match between the keyword and the ad copy, the ad should perform well. You'll have a good click-through rate. So now that we've done that, let's go take a look at some of the other settings inside this campaign. First, we'll take a look at the location targeting. Open this guy up. And as always, with every campaign we run, we always run exclusions for basically the entire planet. It's just a nice little insurance policy to make sure that you're not getting traffic from out of area. It still may happen, but it's better to have these exclusions than to not have them, and it's pretty easy to set up. So we were targeting 2 counties. We had Los Angeles County, and then I can't remember the name of this one down here below, and then we had just put some exclusions over top. And don't forget, when you have overlap like this, the exclusion is always going to take precedent over the location targeting. So normally Lancaster would be within the targeted area, but because we've slapped the exclusion over top of it, it is going to be excluded. Next, we'll go take a quick look at the ad schedule. Pretty stock standard here. You'll notice that it was most active on Mondays, and then it kind of tapered off towards the weekends. I guess people don't like to worry about their chimneys on Sundays. You can see the ads ran 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. and that worked well for the client because they were able to answer the phones during those hours. Next, I want to go and walk you through the actual landing page for this campaign. We built all of our landing pages inside of High Level, and you're going to see that this page is not live. We don't have the form set up either. I just copied this over and put it in the archive for past clients, so that's why we don't have the form. But normally it would be there. We also had the form down in the footer as well. We've got click to call buttons all over this thing in multiple spots all over the landing page. And you can see here what we were doing with the dynamic location insertions for these headlines. If we don't have these added in, this is what the page would look like. There's just nothing on the front of it. But if the traffic came from one of those location-based ad groups, this would get injected at the front, and it would just give the landing page a little bit more relevance and help with the conversion rate. In theory, in this situation, it didn't really contribute much because those location-based ad groups just didn't get a lot of traction. Again, a very standard landing page. These don't have to be fancy. We're just naming the services, giving a bit of information about the services, a couple of CTAs, some information about the business itself, and then getting down towards the bottom, we have the form again, more CTAs for the click to call, and then just a stock standard footer. Most of the traffic for this campaign did come through mobile. So we'll just scroll through this really quick and I'll show you that it doesn't look much different. It's just broken down and collapsed for mobile. If you want to grab a copy of this exact landing page, just go down in the description and click on the link for my Instagram. Just send me a DM and then I'll send you the download link for this guy. You can just pop it straight into your High Level account. That covers it for this case study. I hope this was helpful. And in closing, if you want us to run a campaign like this for you, or if you have a client and you want us to run that campaign as well, we also offer white label services. Just go down, click the link in the description, and you'll be able to see all of the pricing information, all the package info, and then you can book a call if you want. That covers it for the case study. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day.